Please help me welcome international speech contestant Keith Horowitz. NYC Adventure, Keith Horowitz.
Look out, they're coming after us. Oh, that's what we said in the middle of this adventure. I couldn't believe I was on this adventure. We had a secret map. I'd gone over to my friend's house, Tommy. He was my best friend in New York City. I was 12 years old, and we had another friend that we hung out with a lot. His name was Adam. Tommy showed me this map. He said a strange man had given it to him, and we had to follow this adventure today. Oh my, what kind of adventure is this? Well, the first clue is going to take us down to the Museum of Natural History. Aha, I've been there before. This should be a fun adventure. We hopped on our bikes and we rode down to the Museum of Natural History. Well, there it was, museum. But the map didn't have us going inside. No, we were standing in front of the statue. And it said, look for the yellow box. Look for the yellow box. Where's the yellow? Aha, there it is right behind us across the street. And it was flashing, don't walk, don't walk. We only needed the first word, don't. The first word's don't. Ah, we have our first clue. Now we're ready to go on to the next clue. And it says travel through the park and go to the other side towards the Museum of Modern Art. Oh, okay. That shouldn't be too bad. It's going to take us a little time, but uh-oh. They're those guys that were following us from the playground, and they were gonna, I don't know if they're buggers or just didn't like us or what, but we gotta get out of here. And we headed down, not through the main part of the park, but under the park. You see, there are cross-town roads that take us through Central Park. And those cross-town roads, well, they're not exactly people-friendly. They're mostly just car-friendly. One lane going this way, one lane going this way, and these tiny little sidewalks. They're barely big enough for a bicycle, single file. Oh, we were scared about those guys following us. It would have been nice to get up to the roadways that were above these bridges, but there was no way to climb up. The rocks were too steep the way they built these walls. Oh, so we had to keep going and going and going. We finally got over to the other side of the park, the east side. No sign of the guys that were following us. Okay, we can get on with the adventure. Down, down, down to the Museum of Modern Art. And we go inside after locking up our bikes outside. And we go inside, and what do we see? We've got to look for a transparent box. And I said, well, I guess we'll have to pay to go in. And they said, no, the payment's just a donation. It's a suggestion. You don't have to. Especially with kids, we can get away with it. And as we pass by the way that we would put in our donation, there's a transparent box to put your donation in. And on it, it said give. Aha, there's our second word, give. All right, where do we go now? Well, it's time to move through the park, over towards the Great Meadow, going by the zoo, where we could think about the frosty penguins sitting in. We headed over and we got to the baseball diamonds, and it said 50 paces towards the hot dog stand. Okay, 1, 2. Wow, that hot dog stand. I wish it was open now. I'm hungry. 18. Oh, this is a long way. Okay, and 50, and it says look for a box with the branches. And I'm thinking, well, this should be up in a tree, right? Okay, and there's just a cut off stump. We were literally stumped looking for this next clue. But wait, looking up in the sky, there's a box kite. Aha, that's number 3. And it's up. Up is the third word. Okay, and that box kite, wait a second, the guy flying that box kite looks really familiar. That's my dad. What the heck is going on here? And he said, you found all the clues. It says, don't give up. Ah, don't give up. Just like the Peter Gabriel song that inspired me as a teenager to keep going when things were tough. And he loaded us into the van with our bikes in the back, and we headed out to Coney Island. And we got to go on some of the easier rides. I wasn't quite up to doing the giant coaster or that Ferris wheel. Whew, that was an intense looking Ferris wheel. But we got to go on the rides, and my dad even paid extra for me. That was a surprise. I wasn't expecting that. He usually doesn't treat me extra. And then it was time to go over to Nathan's right next door, get their wonderful hot dogs. And he said, here's your gold, the golden French fries. Oh, those were wonderful French fries. And we had found the treasure in the gold of the golden French fries. And he said to me, the one thing that made me realize I hadn't even realized what this special day was. He said, happy birthday. Well, that explains the adventure. That explains the extra treat. It was my birthday, and I hadn't even realized it all day, being able to have such a great adventure. And all these years later, I try and keep that in mind, because sometimes when you get that time and your birthday's coming up, maybe you get a little grumpy thinking, I'm just getting older and older and older. But it's the adventure. All these adventures we get. And I keep in mind those adventures I had and the adventures still to come. Each of you, keep in mind what adventures still have for you. Birthdays are just a number, but life is an adventure. Happy Toastmasters.